Well, hello again. In this video lesson, we will learn how to create a stored procedure that will ask user to enter few values or pass few values. So let us recap the previous video lesson in which we have created a stored procedure that perform the DMN operation. But we have hard coded those values. Every time we execute the procedure, it will enter the same values as it is defined on in your procedure body. So now we will be creating a procedure that will ask user to pass few parameters. Then those parameters will be evaluated into your procedure body, and then it will be inserted in your database. So let's start the demo. The first procedure will ask user to pass four parameters, four values, and those four values will be inserted in your employees table. So let us see the definition of our table. So let's start from employees. We have four columns, so we have to insert four values. The first column is an integer, second column will be varchar, third column can be decimal, can be integer. I am just making it simple, so I will be using integer data type. Fourth column will be varchar. So let us create a stored procedure. So create, same syntax, I don't need to repeat anything again and again. Procedure, the procedure name will be ins emp p. Actually p is for that it will accept parameters. As I told you before that let us write the complete syntax. Okay, because we are passing any parameters into the stored procedure, we need some variables to hold those values that will be entered by the user. So for that purpose we declare some parameters, and the parameters will be declared before, as, and after the create statement. @symbol is used to create variables in SQL Server. I am prefixing p. This p is for me, this p means that this is a parameter, because you have two kinds of parameters that will be used in your procedures. Number one will be the parameter that is passed by the user, and the second will be the local variable that will be evaluated within within your procedure. So p underscore id, then data type, comma to separate different parameters. Again I'm declaring again one more variable, varchar, length will be 20, p underscore salary, integer data type, you can use decimal data type. I'm just making it one simple. P underscore add, that will be address, data type will be varchar, and it will be 20. So I have declared four parameters. Okay, so let's declare the body of the procedure. What this procedure do? It will perform a simple insert statement, but all the values will be passed by your procedures, by your user. So just write the query insert into the table name values. In the previous example, we write the hard-coded values, but in this example, we will pass those parameters. Parameter name will be at the p underscore, as you can see, it appears in the inheritance, p underscore name. Remember, the definition of the sequence should be same. Otherwise, you have to write the column names over here if you want to change the sequence as it is in your database. But I'm following the same sequence as it in your data table. EMP ID, I have passed p underscore id. For employee name, I have passed p underscore name. For salary, I have passed p underscore salary. For address, I am passing p underscore address. So let us execute this procedure. I have select the body of this procedure. I have press F5, command successfully executed. So in the previous example, when we execute our simple stored procedure, we just write exec and then we write procedure name. But for this procedure, we have to pass some parameters, because we have generalized this procedure. Whatever we'll insert, it will be reflected into your data, into your table. So I'm passing few parameters. Remember, As you, if you are familiar with insert statements, you know that for integer or decimal values, you don't need to use single quotations. You just write like 1 or 2 or 3 or 1.5. But when you are passing any parameters, and whatever the type is, you have to write in between your single quotes. So I'm passing 12. Second argument will be name. Name will be, okay, I'm using my own name. Okay, the salary, make it simple. Then address, pk. Okay, now I'm executing this statement. Select this statement, press F5, one row affected. Just confirm the result has been affected or not. Select stars from employees. Press F5 and you have that record. Okay. So I hope it's clear that the procedure will ask user to pass 4 parameters. That 4 parameters will be stored in these variables, and then these values can be stored into your table. So in the next procedure, we will learn how to use a local variable. For that purpose, I'm just explaining you a scenario. You all, if you are familiar with SQL Server, you all should be familiar with an identity property. This is a property which is used by the primary key column of your table. User didn't pass, user no need to pass any value for this columns. It will automatically increment it by 1 or by 2 depending on the seed value you have is created when you have created your table. So for this procedure, for this example, I am creating a procedure that will perform an identity property, that will use to perform an identity property on any column. You no need to create any identity value onto your column. You just create a procedure. That procedure will use to create an identity property. So for this procedure, we will be using two statements, two T-SQL statements. Number one, the first statement will fetch the maximum employee ID of any table. Then, that maximum ID will be stored into your local variable. Then we'll pass those values into your table by the increment of 1. So let us create this example. I'm just modifying this code. Uh, we have created a procedure insemp_p_1. This procedure will ask user to pass 3 values. We don't want the user enter the ID value. There are many chances that user can enter a duplicate value. So we should create an identity property, but we are not creating an identity property by using the data definition. We are creating an identity property using our stored procedure. So this procedure will ask user to pass 3 parameters. Then we need to declare a local variable that will hold the maximum ID value of your table. So we will declare the local variable after as using this syntax. Declare, this can be used to declare a local variable. Then variable name, I used to prefix variable name with b, emp id, then the data type. Okay, I'm just removing these extra codes, making it more meaningful. Okay, procedure has been created. insemp1, you have 3 parameters, 1 local variable. Now you have to fetch the maximum employee ID into your local variable. So for that purpose, we should write a select statement. There are few ways to assign variable a value. You can use a select statement, you can use a set statement, but here we should use a select statement because we are not assigning a hard coded value. We are fetching the data as the value from the table and then store into the variable. So select @b_employee id is equals to max is a function which is used to fetch maximum value of any column. emp id, this is our column name. Here it will fetch the maximum employee id from employee table. So what this line does, it will fetch the maximum value of employee ID from employees table and is stored in this variable. After that, you have to store these values into your table. So it will be very simple. Just write insert into employees. This will be your insert statement, values. Then, because this store procedure will ask user to pass three parameters, so the one value, that is the employee ID value, will be used by this variable. So just write v underscore employee ID. If you pass this value, there is an error, okay, because employee ID is a primary key value. You cannot duplicate this value. So I have fetched the maximum value, then I will add +1. If you want a one seat, then just add +1. If you want that the first ID should be 5 and then it should be 10 and then 15, so write 5. Still, there are few limitations of this procedure. Okay, so it's for just for the demonstration I have explained this procedure. There are limitations of this procedure. If your database didn't have, if your table had didn't have any row, it will not work. It will fetch the maximum value. That means you should have few records, then it will work. But for the demonstration, this example is enough for you. So I'm executing this procedure. Oops, p underscore salary. Sorry, I have missed that comma. Command executed successfully. Then we need to execute. The difference between this and the previous procedure was the previous procedure asked us to pass 4 parameters, but this procedure will ask only 3 parameters. One value will be generated via SQL statement. So ECINS underscore 3 underscore 1. The first parameter will be name. Okay, you can give any name. I'm just writing ABC. Usually I don't write, but write UK. Okay. That's F5. One record has been affected. Okay, so let us confirm this value. Select start from employees. Okay. The last record was 12 and the new record is 30. So in this example, we show you how to create a procedure that will ask user to pass some parameters and then declare a variable to evaluate those parameters. We can evaluate these parameters over here, like you can create a procedure to add the salary bonus. Okay, you ask user to input your salary and then percentage or 10% or 20% increment will be added into the salary. So we can use local variable to evaluate our parameters, or we can use local variable to just fetch the data values, the values from the database. So that's all from me. See you next time.